Like we promised, the Tata Metaliks management is with us. Sanjiv Paul, the managing director, joins us on the phone line from Kolkata. Good afternoon, Mr. Paul. Thank you very much for joining us. Actually, Tata Metaliks, the pig iron business struggled, but the ductile iron pipe delivered fairly good numbers. But Mr. Paul, first to come to the pig iron business itself, can you give us how much was the drop in volumes and realizations, the breakup?
Actually, good afternoon. Let me begin with saying that on the pig iron front, the volumes actually increased. It is the net realizations that came down.
Okay.
So that is why the sales look lower compared to previous quarters.
Can you give us the numbers in terms of volume and realizations dip?
The realization dip was, let us say, 1,000 rupees. From 21,000, it came down to 20,000 rupees a ton. And the volume increase was, I think, around 15,000, 12 to 15,000 tons. So I don't have the numbers in front of me.
All right, Mr. Paul, hi. Thanks so much for joining in today. So in the past, we have been seeing that coke prices have been falling low, and that gives some kind of benefit to the margins. Could you tell us how coke prices panned out in the last quarter, and did it give any benefit, or is it already done?
No, the coke prices have given them benefit. Had coke prices not come down, we would not have survived. A lot of other businesses would not have survived. So coke prices have helped, as have iron ore prices. But I guess the drop in pig iron prices have been more than the drop in the raw material prices.
All right, Mr. Paul, then could you give us those numbers? What was your buying cost, average buying cost of coke in the last quarter? If you can compare it on a sequential basis or on a year-on-year basis, and also your cost of buying iron ore. I believe that you source it from Tata Steel at market rates. So what was that particular?
Partner, these are numbers that we don't normally share, not in public at least.
Okay. Your margins came in at 14.7%. Is there a chance of it dipping, or does it bottom here?
See, who is to predict what is bottom? But we are not very sure how things will pan out. I'm hoping that at least things would have plateaued out. You would have seen the last 2 quarters. We have been almost there. So let's hope this is the bottom and we start looking up again. But there is no certainty. I don't see any structural change which should encourage looking up.
Okay.
So even if it is plateaued out, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, Mr. Paul, then let's talk about something that's been doing so well for you. Your ductile iron ore business, iron pipes business, that's been doing fantastically. Could we look at a run rate of around 150 crores that you've been doing over the last few quarters? That's on the top line. And also have margins. Now we have your EBIT margins coming closer towards that 15%. We've seen it sustain over the last couple of quarters. Are these numbers that we should work with for the rest of the year as well? 15% EBIT margins as well as a top line of around 150 crores coming in from from this business?
No, I don't think so. Ductile iron pipes actually follow the pig iron prices.
Right.
There is normally a lag.
Right.
You can see that lag is now probably covered from this quarter and going forward. You will see a dip in the margins there also. And it is not just the margins and the NRs which are an issue there in the ductile iron business, which is primarily business with the government. The credit squeeze that is continuing for a bit too long now, and will hurt the business going forward.
So you don't think we have seen the last of the realizations drop in pig iron? They could drop further, you think?
It's a difficult prediction, Lada, but I don't think it should drop any further. If at all, it should stay steady here. But then I have been proven wrong before.
No, I agree. We've all been optimistic. But is demand at least plateaued out and you see it picking up? Can you see that in your customers?
Yeah, so that is the problem actually. I do not see any structural changes which will spur up demand. Other than the winter months have begun, and these are typically high production and high consumption months for the economy. So other than that, I do not see any structural change, any new projects that have been announced or have got financial closure or gotten on the ground. So I don't see any of those happening. But yes, the impact of the later part of the year on the economy, that will show, which is a natural probably effect. And because of that, prices might either stay steady or look up.
All right, Mr. Paul, one final question before we let you go. We look at Tata Steel as well very closely, and you're procuring some part of your iron ore, or most of it, from Tata Steel. They are conducting some expansion currently, and in fact, in the next 1 year or so, we could see it on stream. Do you think that you'll have any problem in sourcing your iron ore, or is that all sorted out? Do you have a contract with them that you'll be taking some part of the iron ore?
Well, nothing's ever all sorted out. Yes, there will be a squeeze on iron ore availability, but then we get iron ore at market price from Tata Steel. Okay. And if there is a squeeze there, we will look elsewhere.
All right, Mr. Paul, thanks so much for joining in, and taking us through all those details as well. Outlook not looking very, very great, and maybe we could see some pressure on realizations for maybe another quarter at least. But moving on.